Resting isn't laziness, it's actually smart training. And as we get older and we go through every decade, so 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, and so on, we realise that actually having a proper rest protocol is super, super important. Whether you're a 1 to 3 days a week gym trainer, or you're a bit more focused with your training and you still partake in sporting activities, whether that be doing running events like your 5K or your 10Ks or your marathons or your cycling events. Rest is crucial. Now, what we want to look at is why it's important and what we should be doing. So if you're over the age of 50, you need to have a rest protocol. That doesn't mean you just sit on the sofa, watch TV and eat snacks. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is when you have a rest protocol, the great thing about it is your body recovers and repairs itself and it's ready for the next training. Equally, you don't feel beat up all the time. So when you trained in your 20s to your 40s, say, you could push your body super, super hard and you didn't mind that DOMS, so the muscle soreness. And it was part of the training process. You wake up the next day, you're a little bit stiff, a little bit sore, but within a few hours you loosened up. As you get older, that ache lasts a lot longer and it's much harder to reduce. So what we need to do is be very, very smart with our training. We need to make sure that we train with progression. We don't overdo the training, that we end up, doing a crab walk and shuffling around the room all day. Before we do any type of recovery and rest protocol, we need to make sure we look at our training first of all. We need to look at making sure we progress it slowly. So if you're new to training and you're training from home, then maybe you start off with a 10-minute workout and do that 3 times a week. And then you gradually build up the time and you do 15 minutes and 20 minutes and so on. If you're going to the gym, maybe you do 3 lots of 20 minutes and you start off on 2 sets of each muscle group and then build up to 3 sets and potentially 4 sets. If you're starting to run for the first time, maybe you start with a walk and a bit of a jog and then you gradually build up to doing your 5K if that's what you want to do. So we're making sure that we're not overdoing the training. Now we've got that in, we then need to make sure we have 1 to 2 days of complete rest. And what that means, complete rest, is it means that we're not going to the gym, we're not training. Equally, we're not going for a hard cycle or a run. But it doesn't mean we're not doing anything. What I would suggest is doing a good walk. So going out for a nice walk, doesn't need to be really steep hills, but could be for someone between half an hour to an hour or longer. And it's nice, gentle walk, brisk walk. You're getting the heart rate up a bit out of breath, but you're getting all that blood circulating around your body. That's perfect. Next, we're looking at making sure we get great sleep. So we're aiming for that 7 to 9 hours of sleep per night. If you are getting up in the middle of the night and you're finding you're going to the loo, then what I would suggest is to try and drink a lot more of your water first thing in the morning instead, and try and taper that water off before you go to bed. So if you're going to bed at 10 o'clock or 9 o'clock, try and have a lot more water morning, lunchtime, and then try and stop having any water from kind of 6 p.m. onwards. And that should help you get in a better night's sleep. Equally, your last meal should be 3 hours before you go to bed. And that again is going to help you get a good, well-rested night's sleep. And that is essential for recovery. So we've just talked about making sure you have 1 to 2 rest days off per week. But you're not lying on the sofa and eating snacks. Remember, you're going for a good walk, a good 30-minute to 2-hour walk in between, depending on what works well for you. From there, what we're then going to do is we're going to make sure our sleep is perfect for our rest and recovery. After then, we are looking at our nutrition. We're making sure that we eat whole foods. So, getting plenty of protein in from different sources, eating plenty of veggies, and also consuming some great carbohydrates. If you're not sure what they are, your proteins, your chicken, your fish, your lentils, your tofu, your veggies, you know, your courgettes, your asparagus, your spinach, all those type of different veggies. And then your carbohydrates are your new potatoes or your sweet potatoes or rice. Making sure you have a great supply of all of those. And finally, what we can then look into is stretching. We need to make sure on our days and our non-rest days, we're still stretching. So I like to do a shorter stretch routine when I'm training. When I wake up in the morning, I'll do 10 to 20 minutes of just stretching in the lounge while I'm watching the news or watching a favourite TV programme. And then on my days I'm not training, what I like to do is a slightly longer stretch. I like to just sit in front of the TV, stretch the body, move it dynamically, follow one of my stretch routines, pick a level that's comfortable for you and go from there. If you stick to all of that, you will make sure you will feel fully rested, repaired and recovered. To break it down again, 1 to 2 days of complete rest per day, but a good walk on those rest days. Stretch every single day, but shorter rest periods on your working out days and slightly longer on your non-working out days. Make sure you eat a good diet and get plenty of sleep, and you'll be set up for a perfect recovery protocol, and you'll feel great, you'll feel younger, and you'll be able to train harder on your sessions. Make sure you'll subscribe, and I'll see you next week for a brand new episode, and we're going to cover something completely different. I don't know what it is yet, but I will let you know ASAP. All the best.